Welcome to Truck and Travel. I'm Derek.
Cinnamon.
Anyways, guys, we are at home. This is the weekend. Today is Saturday for us right now. We wanted to talk about our diet and whatnot a little bit. I documented my weight loss more than Cinnamon has. I paid attention to it more. In 2017, I got up to about 189 to 185, somewhere in there. I think it was closer to 189. And for me, that's a lot. You know, everybody's different. When I graduated high school, I was about 155, 160. Finally, I was getting really tired of it because I was having to get bigger pant sizes. Is it still recording?
Mm-hmm.
I was getting really tired of it because I got to the point to where I had to get bigger pants because I could no longer fit in my jeans. And so I got up to, it was either, I think it was a size 36 waist. And I used to be able to wear a size 32 with a belt because that was pretty loose on me. And then Cinnamon talked to me about keto, and I thought it was a bunch of crap. And usually when your loved ones try to tell you something, it's harder to hear them. And when you hear outsiders talk about the same thing, sometimes it's a little bit easier to hear. And I was listening to Kevin Rutherford for trucking advice and all that, because obviously we're not experts, so we like to look out, you know, and see what everybody else is doing and whatnot. And he also talked about keto.
I have to interrupt for 2 seconds. So I wasn't telling Derek about keto because I thought he was fat or anything like that, but I heard that about, you know, him mentioning it a bunch and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, you know, you get more energy and everything like that with keto. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna try it. No thanks. You know. So then he came, he came up to me one day and he's like, so on Road Dogg, Kevin Rutherford was talking about keto. I'm like, uh-huh. And he's like, I think everyone try it. And I'm like, great.
And then Cinnamon started to hate Kevin, which I thought was funny.
Kevin's
smart, okay. But no, I recognize that Cinnamon said it first, and my blinders were up, but...
We're having keto coffee right now. This is
Yeah.
our breakfast, which is why I'm like constantly drinking it, by the way.
But anyways, in 2017, that's when my transport career started, was in RV transport, and I was living off of fast food and all that, and eating
fries and what was some other stuff that you would get? You get fries a lot.
Red Bull a lot.
Red Bull, yes. I would look at the receipts because when he was on the road and I did the budgeting at home, I'd see the receipts and I'd be like, okay, so sandwich and curly fries, sandwich and fries, Red Bull, like that's basically what was a burritos. You would get some breakfast burritos from McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, that's what I get from McDonald's in the morning. I hate getting breakfast food from fast food places. That was the gist of it. And then, you know, I got up to 185 to 189 pounds, and, you know, I had to change the pant size and got fed up with it. Decided I'm ready to try a different diet. And then Cinnamon had this cookbook and for keto recipes and whatnot, and I was just not feeling it at all. I still didn't get the gist of keto yet, and I felt like this diet isn't going to work for me because nothing looks good in this book. You know, I like simple things, I guess you could put it.
Anytime we go to a restaurant, even before keto, I want a burger.
Yeah, burger or steak.
Could be an Italian restaurant, I want a burger.
Yeah, pretty much. So then I was listening more to Kevin to educate myself because I don't do good with reading and remembering. So I was picking up, you know, you eat certain things, you cut out certain things, and so that I adapted that, and I started doing that on the road. You know, I'm still eating fast food crap, but now I'm throwing away the bun and not getting certain things on the sandwiches or whatever. I tried to stay away from dairy as much as possible, but it still happens. I stopped eating peanuts. Peanuts is a big no, which is sad. Chocolate, obviously, you can't have that. No sugar. Try to stay away from fruits as much as possible. You can have vegetables though.
But we do
potatoes, had to stay away from potatoes. Anything that's fried, I stayed away from that. Like deep fried, I stayed away from that.
We do have Lily's chocolate, which is sweetened with natural sweetener.
But before.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, right now, I haven't been this weight at a long time. I know there's some people that have noticed the weight loss I've had because they've commented, you know, and said that I look skinnier and whatnot. And yes, it is true. Right now I'm down to 159 pounds. I really don't want to lose more weight. The main reason why I got on keto is for my migraines. Sometimes I have a hard time sleeping, and the weight loss. That was my main reasons. Right now I'm considering going to paleo, which adds like potatoes and fruits. It's pretty much like keto, except for, you know, there's a little bit more you can have. But it seems like I was just thinking about there's a reason why I can't. I feel like I keep on hearing people that do nutrient dense keto, where they eat the foods that has the most nutrients, like, so lettuce wouldn't be one of those because it has very minute bits of nutrients in it. So they would focus on like stuff like liver and blah blah blah. Did it stop recording?
That's good.
So anyways, they'd focus on those kind of things. It seems like people that do the nutrient dense keto diet are able to go with less sleep, where it's like 4 hours of sleep and they're good. And so I feel like I need to stay on keto just so I can get to that point, because riding in this thing while it's moving, trying to sleep is really rough. I'm having a hard time. I
don't think a lot of people really talk about like that huge factor in transporting. Yeah, they have the 10 hours of, you know, off-duty time, and I used to think that was like a bunch, you know, but it does. Sleeping is very difficult, especially when you're team driving, because just imagine laying in bed and someone's constantly shaking you.
Yeah.
And then if you have the reefer going on, the TCU unit, which it sounds like
just regular truck drivers or whatever at
could be parked around you with it on.
No. I'm saying that they go through this too, because they have reefers. They have people right beside them that have loud diesel engines, or their APU's loud.
When you have your TCU on, it literally sounds and feels like there's a lawnmower underneath your bed. And so imagine, you know, if you get up in the middle of the night because your other person gets up out of bed because they've moved, imagine like the whole bed moving while you're sleeping.
But I mean, like regular drivers, solo drivers have, you know, sleeping issues as well.
Yeah.
But when you're a team driver, like you said, you know, there's a little bit more obstacles. Like this past week we had West Virginia. When I was driving, it was like when we're going.
I had the seatbelt on while I was laying down and stuff, but it was like I was just being moved like all over the bed because of all the curves and stuff. And he wasn't driving like a maniac or anything by any means.
It's the curves where you got to go about 15 miles per hour, and you have to cross the yellow line to make sure that your back wheels don't go down into the stones, because you don't want to go past the stones, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was just one of those times. That was just probably the worst it's been for us. When you're going down a nice smooth highway, it's not as bad. You still get some shaking, but
but then you have the cats walking on your face.
Yeah, so I mean,
and that, you know, is a factor.
So then our cats is another factor, which we haven't decided if they're gonna continue on this trip. But as of right now, they will be.
You guys might see in some like footage and stuff us like moving them and stuff. It's because cats sleep 2/3 of the day, so we're trying to keep them up when we're up so that they will sleep when we sleep. Yeah,
which we haven't been able to get them to sleep when we sleep. Like they do towards the end, but not when we're trying to go to sleep. Not when we're trying to fall asleep. They're up doing crap. We might even do like a time-lapse video of them messing around.
Yeah.
But I did want to share with you guys that keto does work. I will say this for women. I keep hearing that, you know, with their hormones are so much different than guys, it's a little bit harder for them to do the keto, maybe at first or whatever, to get on track. but it is, you know, women can do this diet too. It's just, you know, they're not going to get fast results like men normally.
I'm having more non-scale victories. NSV is what they call. It's not so much I'm losing weight, but my stomach's getting flatter, and I can tell it in certain camera angles.
It is definitely, I can tell a difference too.
Thanks. So, and the thing that stinks, it stinks, but it's good, is that when we're on the road, if we stop at a place that has a Cinnabon, like if we've worked hard and stuff, that was always my reward and stuff. And this last time, I hadn't had one in a while, and this last time when I ate it, absolutely delicious. But the second I ate it, I'm like, I don't ever want another one again. Yeah. Like it made me feel awful. And so the next time when we were at a place that had a Cinnabon, we walked in and I'm like, smells good, but that's it. Like I'm not gonna eat one though. Like it smells absolutely amazing, but I remember how I felt after I ate it, and it made me feel awful. Yeah. You know.
And then if you do try the keto diet, there's something that happens to a lot of people that's called the keto flu, which is a couple of different what do you call that? Symptoms.
Depending on how dependent your diet was on carbs and sugars for energy. So if you had mostly breads and pastas and sugars, then you're gonna have the keto flu worse symptoms. But once you get over the keto flu, which happens because your body is becoming fat adapted, it's using fat as its energy source, which is why people lose weight, because then your body, when it burns fat for energy, it starts burning the fat that you have stored, you know. But yeah, switching to becoming fat adapt, that's why keto flu happens when you switch to keto. But if you're not really dependent on a lot of carbs and sugars and stuff, and you eat basically keto like to begin with, then your keto flu won't last that long or be as severe. But basically, for keto flu, migraine is like the worst thing, which you're flushing out a lot of electrolytes because your kidneys are being flushed out and stuff while you're changing your eating habits. So you have to replace them with electrolytes, and that doesn't mean go out and get Gatorade because that has sugar and stuff. There's different foods that have electrolytes and stuff, which we'll have to link the book, the keto book that I have, because it goes over everything. It even has a chart, and it says the different symptoms that you're feeling. This is the food that you're going to want to eat that'll help you with it during the keto flu, and it has a lot of information and stuff on that. So
yeah. You know, I've never been a real strong guy. The most I could bench press is 255 pounds. I'm nowhere near being able to do that right now because I haven't worked out in a long time. You don't use it, you lose it. You know what I mean? And we're going to bring dumbbells with us on the road if I have the energy and the opportunity, because you can't really do this on the go. But I would like to do little things with dumbbells, what I can anyways, to try to gain muscle. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that.
It's just getting adjusted to the sleeping first, and I think once we have that, then if we have even a teensy amount of energy to force ourselves to do a workout, because in the beginning it's always, you're not going to have all this energy and then you work out to gain the energy and everything too. So
I never had energy from working out, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that.
Oh, I would, for me, like for running and stuff.
Cinnamon always has energy, so if you wonder why she's always bouncing around happy, it's just how she is. If you see how I'm like laid back and mellow a lot of times, it's not because I'm in a bad mood or I don't want to be here. It's, I don't know, I'm getting old, I guess. I'm taming down.
Or sometimes he has migraines and stuff, which is a huge...
Or I'm not getting enough sleep, so I have no energy, which was the case in a couple videos back. Where I had both. I don't really want to say how many hours of sleep I had in last week because it's pretty bad. But it's something to consider if you're thinking about getting into expediting, is can you handle the sleep? We're going to definitely push through this. We're going to try to make this work. And that's why nutrient-dense keto is my goal, so that way my body doesn't need as much rest as possible.
And also that's why on some vlogs you'll see that I'm driving all day, is because if I have the hours and if he's tired, you don't want to drive when you're like exhausted and stuff. And if I have energy and I have it's only amount of miles in a day that we need to go that one person can handle, I'll do it, and then the next day after he's rested, he'll do it. So
if it's not that many miles we got covered, because if it's a lot of miles, we already set it up to where okay, Simmons driving during the day, and if there's a night shift, I'm driving the night shift. I've seen a lot of the country already, and I feel like I do decent at nighttime. It doesn't scare me, so we feel like it's a better fit this way. And I feel like whoever does the night shift is probably going to age more. And you know how them women are about aging, so women. So I'm gonna be doing the aging. So if you see some more wrinkles and more hair loss, and I'm quiet. Oh, and if you see me wearing shades a lot, usually it's because I got a migraine. That's a big hint. If you see me wearing sunglasses inside a building, or at nighttime, it's because I got a migraine. I might have to get me those yellow lenses that you can wear at nighttime, so I don't have to worry about brights.
I know some people will probably, everybody's always, there to help, which we absolutely love. If you're gonna make suggestions about him trying like a bunch of different things, believe me, we've tried it all.
Yeah,
we've tried medication, we've tried,
And we really don't want to do medication. Right now I'm doing Excedrin, which I don't even want to do that because
it tears up the stomach.
It's got aspirin in it, and that aspirin's not good for anybody. Right now, we're drinking a lot of caffeine. On keto, you can have caffeine, like these, what do they call these?
Bulletproof coffee.
Bulletproof coffee. That is a keto coffee. We do drink Bang. You'll see us drinking that Bang energy drink. We drink that because there is no sugar in it, but I do want to put this out there that there's, what do you call that? Fake sugar. Yeah, it's like a fake sweetener. That is not good for your body. I don't know what all it does, but that is definitely not good for you.
I think it's hard for your body to digest that.
Sometimes when we drink that, it doesn't feel good on our stomach, but we keep drinking it.
But I mean, it's one of those, greater of two evils. It's better than Red Bull.
I'd hate to say that because, you might not get fat, but it could give you a heart attack. So I don't even want to say that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because energy drinks, you gotta be careful with those things. They are dangerous. I would recommend coffee over energy drinks, and who knows, maybe in the future we will try to switch over to that, But I have been, like this past week, doing expediting. I've been living off of caffeine, and I've been cramping up more because I'm barely getting any water, and I'm getting a ton of caffeine. So it's.
I had a cramping attack in my one foot, and I tried to flex it, and then it hurt even more. So then I tried to point it, and then my toes were hurting. I'm like, oh my gosh! I couldn't. No matter what I did, it was like, ow, 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 ow.
So if you think about it, this caffeine might be like a double-edged sword for me. It's helping me stay awake.
Yeah.
So. This caffeine for me is probably a double-edged sword because it's keeping me awake while I'm driving, but it's probably prohibiting me from being able to sleep. So I'm probably going to have to, I don't know.
Figure something out, and I think once we implement some exercise, that will help our body naturally do what it's supposed to do.
But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for joining us for a little talk about weight loss and our keto journey. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining us on our little weight loss talk and keto. Let us know if you're doing keto and how you're doing with that, and what are some of the things you like to eat. We might touch more about this later on in the future, but yeah, we just wanted to share what has been working for us. And alright guys, sorry about that. The battery keeps dying and the camera keeps shutting off by itself. Our good camera keeps on messing up. Sorry about that. We're just going to go ahead and end it right here. I do want to add the note that keto actually does help you with energy. It did help me out a lot, so that's something to think about if you need more energy. And yeah, and this keto coffee, what do you call it, bulletproof coffee, it's good for energy too and focus, so I highly recommend that as well.
It keeps you full for at least a couple of hours and
yeah,
stuff.
it's
so
like a meal. It
helps.
is an actual meal.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. God bless you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
I'm gonna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me. No, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at the beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me. No, no, nothing can break me.